Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House.
Well, guys, we're going to break some rules here around the house show, and we are extending hour number 1 into hour number 2 with Craig and Kevin from the Homeowners Show. We have got so much to talk about, and most of this next episode here is going to be the continuation of hour 1. So if you missed that on the radio, make sure you go back and catch it on the podcast player. And at the very end of the show, I think we'll have time to talk about some tips and tricks for first-time home buyers out there. If you're out there trying to get a house, I've got some ideas to help you get started. Now, let's get to the program with Craig and Kevin from the Homeowner Show YouTube channel and podcast. Around the House show is brought to you by Pyramid Heating and Cooling, serving in Oregon, the Portland metro area, and Bend, Oregon. To find out more, head to pyramidheating.com. Oregon CCB 59382.
When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House show, the next generation of home improvement. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Eric G. This is our second hour of the show, brought to you by our friends at Monument Grills. If you're looking for a great barbecue on a budget, these are the guys for you. Check them out at monumentgrills.com. Well, we're talking with our friends at the Homeowners Show. You might have caught their podcast or YouTube channel and the other things they're out doing. Let's get back to that conversation. This is a continuation of hour 1. Sit back and enjoy. Let's get talking to Kevin and Craig.
It's tough being a nice guy. You know that?
No,
Tough.
I don't. No, just kidding.
Just kidding is what it is. Yeah, it's just not worth it.
No idea.
That's the problem.
No idea. I haven't had that problem in 10 years. No, just kidding.
Eric, are you guys seeing the change? Are you guys experiencing any of the changes in homeowner policies for insurance?
Not
like
yet. Everything's more
Not yet?
expensive. The issue that we have here that's really hard is because we have so many trees, like in my area. I can go on Google Maps and I can't find my house because I have 100% tree cover over it, which means that the insurance companies can't get a good satellite look of your house, which means they can't tell you that, hey, your roof's not in good shape because we zoomed in and took a look at it, or you need to get this off of your property because it looks like you got too many things in your backyard or whatever. So I'm seeing less of that here, but I know it's a big issue across the country.
I know one of the things that's happening here, and I know it's happening in Florida and Louisiana and some other, and I think some of the Carolinas, is like they're changing the homeowners policies and not really changing the premiums or the rates. And they're taking away things like roofs. And I know like up in your neck of the woods, like mostly in California, like they're taking away like fire coverage. Yeah. And I think they're doing that in Colorado as well. And I don't quote me on that, but I think that's happening in Colorado. And so, but like these policies, they're not like, again, the premiums aren't changing, the rates aren't changing, but you're just losing
coverage.
Benefit.
That's brutal.
And it's because the brokers are going to these insurance sales and saying, look, like we're losing our rear end on the amount of roofs that you guys have written and that we've had to now replace and pay out, and they're upside down. And so I've been telling people for years around here, I was like, just get ready because it's coming. Like they're going to take them. And we lost flood insurance around here years ago.
Oh yeah. Greetings. Here's another one that happened to one of my best friends. He's been with I'll say it with State Farm for 50 years. He's been but probably 25. And I'll just call the brand out because this is what happened. He's had a $50 deductible all the way up. All of a sudden they changed it to a $500 deductible. No conversation. They just at one point in the last year or two changed it. Instead of raising his rate, they changed the deductible, didn't tell him, didn't anything. It was just so many people, including me a lot, don't go back and read their policy when they say, hey, here's your renewal stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You go, oh, cool.
Well, that's a lot of paperwork.
It's a lot of paperwork. And by the way, your policy is not 2 pages. It's the 40 pages that they mail you or something like that. That is probably closer to your policy or more. So he didn't read it. He had a small claim. He goes, just put it on there. And he's $500. Where'd that come from? And then got into a big deal on that because he's, wait a minute, I've been paying for this. And he's still battling that out just because he's proved to me I changed my policy.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you wind up getting to a point where you have no control over that.
Because you have to have it.
Yeah. Because here's one of the things that happened to me. I had decided to change insurance companies. I had a buddy that was like, hey, I'm working for this insurance company now. You want to switch over? And I was like, show me that it's worth it. And he showed me, and it was about the same. And I was like, you know what? My buddy is probably going to be more of an advocate for me than this other guy that I didn't know at all. So I'm like, you know what? Equal coverage, get a buddy. All right. I think I'm okay with here. So I literally just leaned on him. Hey, what do I do? And he's here. I'm going to take care of it. Hey, everything's live. You can go ahead and cancel your coverage. Perfect. About a month later, I get a phone call from him and he goes, dude, I got some bad news and I've been dreading this phone call all day. I was like, all right, what's going on? He goes, they're not going to insure your roof. And I said, what?
What?
And he said, yeah. He said, somehow through underwriting, they've determined your roof is too old. They're not going to insure it. And I said, hold on. So you're telling me that I've switched to you, canceled my other insurance that insured my roof.
Yeah.
And I've got an old roof that clearly needs to be replaced.
Yep.
And they're not going to insure it. And he said, they're not going to insure it.
Oh,
I said, what are my options? And he said, the best advice that I can give you. And he said, look, this is not going to help me, but I'm going to give you my best advice. Call your old insurance back and say, I made a mistake. Can I come back? And I did. And they allowed me to come back at my same rate.
Wow.
Now,
good deal.
Unbelievable that happened. And that was about 5 to 6 years ago.
Yeah.
May not have happened that way this time. But the truth is that kind of junk is going to start happening over and over and over, where more of these things are going to get taken away. Nothing is going to be replaced. And so here's the best advice that I can give. If you're a homeowner, you need to start stacking your money.
Yeah.
You need to start putting away cash for moments where something happens and you don't have, because the other option is you just put it on credit or you go get a HELOC or something so that you can just do something to be able to repair a roof. Can you imagine having to get a HELOC to repair your roof?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, here's the thing. I'll just go ahead and make a bold prediction right now.
All right, here we go. Mark it.
Yeah, I think within the next 2 years, we're going to see an absolute bloodbath. There's going to be moaning and wailing in the streets from the roofing companies in all of the hurricane exposed states.
Oh,
yep.
Because they're like, look,
hurricane or hail, right? Where whoever's getting that, and both of those are probably equal.
Yeah, they're most of those are in the same area too. And
that's
so
true.
But these roofing companies, at least I know in Texas and I know in Florida, are highly lucrative.
They rely on the storms.
And it's all insurance-based money, man.
Absolutely.
It's all insurance-based money. And these insurance companies have gotten wise to what's going on. And they're like, look, we're making these guys rich.
Yep.
Like you can be a 5-man operation in the state of Texas and turn 10 million, no problem.
Yep.
Wow.
And so these guys, like they're gonna lose their butts because they're not gonna have the cash flow that they did before from these insurance companies. And they're gonna have people that are having to take out HELOCs or get lines of credit, and the money's not going to flow like it used to. And they're going to have to figure some stuff out, and it's going to be ugly for some of those guys.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be good for homeowners. I bet you're going to see a dramatic drop in price.
Yeah.
For the cost.
Yeah. We have it different out here because we don't have that. We don't have those losses as much, right? So we don't have the losses that you have. We might get a windstorm or something and they get up there and patch it, but we don't have the hailstorms, the hurricanes. We have ice storms, but it's not lifting shingles up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one of the things that I think is going to happen, and I'm interested to see the ripple effect that this winds up happening. But what's going to happen is you're going to have, like you're talking about, you're going to have shingle loss. You're going to have all kinds of damage to roofs, and homeowners are going to go, I leave it.
Yeah.
I can't.
There's going to be some people that do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can't fix it. I can't. I don't have the money. I don't have the knowledge. I can't do it myself. I don't want to do it myself. Some of these homes, you can't get up on the roof because of the roof lines, but they're going to leave it. And so here's what I think is going to wind up happening. I think the insurance companies are going to go, your roof has been decimated. I won't insure your house anymore.
Around the House will be right back with our friends from the Homeowners Show. You don't want to miss this. We'll see you on the other side of this commercial break. Guys, it's Eric G from Around the House Show. I wanted to introduce you to one of our new sponsors. Monument Grills was founded by three good friends in Atlanta, Georgia that wanted high-quality, durable grills inspired by iconic monuments. The grills are created for the person who loves to cook and are built to last and to enhance your outdoor cooking experience. What I love is that they are the best quality grills for under $900. So check out the American Gas Grill experts at monumentgrills.com. I bet you'll love to cook on one like I do. Check out the new standard in outdoor cooking at monumentgrills.com. Are you a small business owner? Has business slowed down? How is your website? Does it look like it's seen better days and those are behind it? It's time you fix it with SciPipe Designs. My friend Johnny that you've heard on this show each week, yeah, that's him playing in the background, is my go-to web designer that understands how to get your website and web traffic where it needs to be, and that's making you money. If you want personalized service at a much lower price than those big companies out there, check him out at sitehypedesigns.com. If you want a rockstar website to turn your business around, you gotta hire the rockstar. Just wait till you see my website coming soon. It's absolutely amazing. Contact Johnny at sitehypedesigns.com before it costs you even more money. Let's get that business turned around.
What's up? This is Sticks Adenia.
And Satchel from Steel Panther. And you are listening to
Around the House with Eric G.
Yeah.
We love Eric G, and you should too.
1987, I never want to leave you.
Welcome back to the Around the House Show, the next generation of home improvement. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, if you want to get a hold of me here at the show, head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and make sure you're following us on social media and our new YouTube channel, where we'll see a lot of these things up on video in the future. Now let's get back to the Homeowners Show.
I think the insurance companies are going to go, your roof has been decimated. I won't insure your house anymore.
Correct. Yep, you're going to see that.
So the ripple effect is going to go far reaching, and guess who loses?
Oh, consumer every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
So here's what happens though, is there going to be some new startup company that comes in that will say, hey, I know your legendary company you've been with for 30 years isn't going to cover your roof. Call us today at 888. We'll cover your roof.
Yep.
But are they going to cover it at a different rate? Are they going to cover it at instead of being a $50,000 roof, is it now a $25,000 roof so that at least they can get a roof on it?
That's it. And that's what's happened with around here with flood insurance, for example.
It's a whole different product.
It's a whole different product. You can buy it from a number of different people, and
it's for gobs of money.
It is so unbelievably high. And it's just one of those situations where it's okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to pay for the insurance at that ungodly amount of money? Or are you going to shove that back and have the restriction on yourself to actually be able to do it? The discipline. I don't know a lot of people that have that discipline,
Great example though. Here's another thing that these insurance companies are doing. And what I'm seeing is let's say you jump on to one of the online insurance companies that we see on the commercials every day. And you sign up for a homeowner's policy there, and they go, cool, yep, we know the house, it's worth this, we're going to insure this, you're ready to go. And you go, I'll take the max coverage. If you have a nice house that was remodeled, or if it was built before 1970 where you could have asbestos or lead paint or something like that in it, guess what? It's not anywhere close to what should be covered.
The max isn't nearly there.
Oh, I went round and round because over the last few years, I've been remodeling my house. and doing it for my TV show and everything else. And I've been putting in some really cool products because I'm showing off the latest and greatest stuff. When I look at it, I did some quick math and said, okay, the price you're giving me for my small house, I can't replace my kitchen and bathroom for that if I paid somebody to come do it. That's a problem.
I think that's what a lot of people are bumping up against, because you can cry foul all day long about how your premiums have gone up, how your rates have gone up. But did you cry like when you were able to sell your house for 40% more than what you paid for it during the pandemic? No. And so what do you expect them to do? Like they're not stupid. They can look at it's public information. They know what your house sold for. They can look at where the market's going and that it really hasn't come down that much. And so like they have to adjust. Because they can't be left holding the bag when you've been paying a policy that when you bought it, the house was worth $250,000. Now it's worth $400,000. Yep. And what are they supposed to do? They can't replace it for the $250 that you paid for it. No, they have to change the rates. And you can be mad at them all day long. It's just good business. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It is a business. Yeah. And they are the right
not your BFF.
They are not.
Go to the people that actually caused this mess and caused the inflation to happen in the first place.
Oh, there we go. And there we go. So here's another one this is another one that happened to one of my good buddies here. Had a mountain cabin, had a decent insurance policy on it. We had a flood, we had a freeze where we had this big ice storm, shut the power down, pipes froze in his cabin, 2-story cabin up by Mount Hood up here. Beautiful cabin. He's sitting there one morning looking on his cameras that it keeps setting off, and it was water coming through a light fixture in the dark. And you could see the water. So they had 2 half-inch water lines in the house break. It's 2 hours from his house. So he drives up there. So you can tell how long and who knows how long that was running.
Right. By the time he got the pictures and then got out there. Yeah.
But the time he was looking on his phone and noticing the stuff going on, who knows how long that was. Gets out there, calls his insurance company, water damage the entire place, 2-story place, upstairs bathroom had a bunch of frozen pipes. So here's the problem. Insurance company goes, hey, first we're going to send out our remediation company. They send the remediation company out, and he had like a $200 and something thousand. It's a cabin, a $200,000 policy. The remediation company that they suggested he use comes out. They send him a bill for $130,000 for remediation.
Oh my gosh.
Strip it down, dry it out, send him a bill for that. And I can't refinish the inside for $70,000. Can't do it.
Not even close.
So now he's in trouble. And he got way overbilled by the remediation company. So that is one of the things I learned from that is, wait a minute, you need to have a do not exceed with that remediation company so you know where it's going.
Or like maybe ask the insurance company, do I have to use this company?
Yeah.
Can I get 2 more bids?
Yeah. The problem is the cabin. So it's an hour out of town. So what companies are in the area? What companies will go out there? Because they're going to have to go out there every day. So there's a little bit more to that, but there's still companies out there within 20, 25 minutes of it. So it's not that big of a haul.
Look, for $130,000, I'm sure there's some that'll come
right. And that's the stuff where homeowners going, that money's been spent. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think again, going back to where we started in this conversation, that's one of the reasons that Craig and I do what we do. It's not that we're going to answer every question. What we are going to do is we're going to give you enough types of things to think about that you go, I wonder if I could ask this question. Yeah. Or I wonder if I could ask that question. Or I wonder if this person might know something. And ultimately, if you're going to take on the responsibility of owning a home, Eric, you have to get to a point where you're going, look, I don't just get to go golf every Saturday. I'm going to have to take care of my home. I'm going to have to do the things around the house that need to get done. And it's a shame whenever we wind up going, hey, one of the best investments I can ever make is owning a home.
Sure.
And yet I can't make that investment because of how much money it's going to cost me to own a home.
Yeah. And like we were talking about earlier, and that's one of the biggest things. I think modular housing, and I'm not talking about my grandmother's 1976 double wide she had, but I'm talking about beautiful homes. There's a company that is down here for me. Champion Homes is their parent company across, but there's Skyline here. That's the division. These homes are gorgeous. 12-foot island, quartz countertops, just beautiful homes. And what they're doing now is they can ship them out there. So they have just looks like a regular ranch home because they pull them out there, put them up on a foundation, and they're ready for garage framing. So it has attached garage out the front. So they place the home, and in 10 days, by the time they put up the walls, get the garage door installed, and the roof on that tied in 2 weeks, you got a perfectly ready to rock house.
Yeah. And it's so that it's built with a certain amount of standards, and
there's quality control.
Quality control on that. That's very interesting. My mom and dad are in a situation where they're trying to figure out what they're going to do as far as housing goes. They're getting older in life, and they need a home. And so it's an interesting situation. This might be a really, really good option. And I think that's one of the things, exactly to your point, is that there are a lot of people that are going to have to go, look, what can I do to lower the cost? And know, an older person, know that they're going to walk into a home that they're not going to have to worry about. It's dumb.
No.
And I think that was the appeal of the tiny house movement that we saw too, is people were willing to live in much smaller confines.
Around the House will be right back with more from the Homeowners Show just as soon as we return. Don't change that dial. Hey, it's Eric G from Around the House. Are you tired of low quality water in your home? Do you have bad tasting water? How about chemicals, minerals, and hard water scale tearing up your bathrooms, appliances, and your water heater? I have a great solution for you. It's time you stop the damage and check out King Water Filtration. This water treatment system takes care of every drop of water that comes into your home. It uses no salt, no expense filters to change, and it's made right here in the USA. Plus, it prevents hard water scale. To find out more information, head to kingwaterfiltration.com, and if you use promo code ERIC-23, it will give you $1,000 off MSRP with a discount on a filter that will resolve those water quality issues. Don't miss out on this amazing sale on a product made right here in the USA at kingwaterfiltration.com. That's kingwaterfiltration.com. And don't forget promo code ERIC-23. Hey guys, it's Eric G, and I have a special offer for you. Do you want to get the podcast a couple days early? How about extended content that isn't in the typical podcast? Maybe you want to check out all the back episodes of the show. And I got a special deal for the first 10 days are free. I want to personally invite you to be an Around the House insider. For about $4 a month, you can get exclusive extended episodes, early access to the weekend show, and exclusive access to me, Eric G, for project questions or comments. Check on the link on your podcast player in the show notes, or head to aroundthehouseonline.com and look for the join here button. Make sure and sign up today. As always, thanks for tuning in to Around the House.
Hey, this is Ron Keel, the Metal Cowboy from Keel, the Ron Keel Band and Steeler. We are rocking Around the House with Eric G.
Raise your fist!
Welcome back to the Around the House Show, the next generation of home improvement. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, if you want to get a hold of me here at the show, head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and make sure you're following us on social media and our new YouTube channel, where we'll see a lot of these things up on video in the future. Now let's get back to the Homeowners Show.
No, they're going to walk into a home that they're not going to have to worry about. It's dumb.
No,
And I think that was the appeal of the tiny house movement that we saw too, is people were willing to live in much smaller confines and save a bunch of money. But I think,
but here's the thing. I love my wife. I don't want to be in a 450 square foot house with her. Sorry.
Exactly. I think we caused a lot of mental health issues.
And she does. I could guarantee she doesn't want to be in a 450 square foot house with me either. So
yeah, we could swing it if I was like on 200 acres, because she'd just never see me. But
if she had her 450 on that side, and you had your 450 on that side, that could be a cool thing with a middle ground. I get that.
It just depends on if it's on a boundary line, though.
I'm sorry, let's come visit every once in a while.
Time lock gate between the two. Yeah. Visit.
Dude, I got to tell you guys. So my life actually changed yesterday with a tool that I discovered.
Okay.
I know that you guys probably aren't into this, but I fit the stereotype of the Texas dude. I've got horses. I love working cows. Like I grew up.
Hey man, I had a 20-acre farm, so I get it. So
there you go. So okay, so you might actually appreciate this, and you might already know. You probably already know about it. I didn't until yesterday. I went out to a buddy's place a couple weeks ago, and he didn't know how to put up a barbed wire fence, and I put up gobs of barbed wire fence, and so I went out there, and you were driving T-posts and all this kind of stuff. My wife tells me the other day, hey, I need you to put up a temporary barbed wire fence in this area so we can get some good grass for the horses. And so we can go out and replant and all this kind of stuff. I was like, okay, so I'm go to the store. I'm going to go to get a T-post driver, get some T-posts. And I've already got the barbed wire, the ties, all this kind of stuff. And I'm at Tractor Supply and it says spring-loaded T-post driver. And I'm like, what is that? And I was like, I'm going to give this booger, because I've always had like the 25 pound.
I have one on my other side of this wall. I have one hanging out right there.
Yeah. And they do it. They get the job done. Let me tell you something. Spring-loaded T-post driver, it's half the weight. And it doesn't make sense until you put it on there. But like you slide the T-post driver down. And so all you're having to do is all the downward motion. It picks the T-post driver up for you.
Oh,
that's what the
cool.
spring load.
That's the hard part.
And yes. And I'm like, this is like 3/4 of my exhaustion driving T-post is having to pick that stupid thing up.
It's the shoulder work you're doing more than anything else.
Exactly.
I knocked that thing out in an hour and a half.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm the man.
See, I cheated. I had an attachment to the tractor that would just, with a hydraulic thing, just go.
Oh, and just push them in. There you go.
That was cheating. It was an old. It was farm shop welding 101 piece. I don't know what it was made out of, but it was a little hydraulic ram that you could put up there and just if it didn't take your arm off, you were lucky. But it was sketchy as we're gonna do that. Sketchy. I was just super sketch, but it worked. So
I've seen guys try and do it with the front bucket. It just never goes well.
No. You're just bending posts. Yeah. You're just bending posts. So this was like the top of that.
I have used like the post hole digger, like the drill on the back of the tractor. That thing's magical.
Yeah, those things are awesome. Yeah. Done.
That's cool. I have a cool tool here at my house that is, if you're doing concrete work, this thing is the best. It's called the mud mixer. Have you guys seen that?
No.
So it is about the size of a big wheelbarrow, and it has a hopper, electrical outlet, garden hose into it. And you bust open about 6 concrete bags. You could fill the hopper up, and it automatically mixes the water to the right consistency. And there's an auger, and it just mixes concrete. And each bag takes about 60 seconds to kick up.
Oh my goodness.
How much does one of those run?
A few grand.
Okay.
But
so
it's
a high enough price point to keep people away, but like magical enough that you still want it.
No, but they're in rental store companies across the US. The rental companies are buying these things up, and you can rent them. And I tell you what, it is money. And you could put mortar, you could put concrete, you could put all of it through there. If you're doing a fence, you can literally, you're just dragging along. You could literally sit there and be driving down a fence line with the truck with a pallet of bags in the back of it, and you're just pulling around like a wheelbarrow, and it swivels as well. So you could have the thing coming out the side, and you're just rolling it, going right over the top of the hole, and you're putting in a bag and a half of concrete or whatever in it, and you're just going down. It is money for fast.
I was going to ask how that thing moves around. I assume it's got some wheels, and you just
it's just 2 big, huge, big wheels, and then it's got like a wheelbarrow that's wider, but it's super stable. And you start cranking, that thing is awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, Kevin turned me onto this, and we use this for some 2 gate posts at my buddy's place that I was talking about. Is that foam concrete?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's expensive.
It is expensive, but it's solid.
But like in a pinch, it gets the job done.
It sure does. It's a whole lot easier to use. You can pick it up with one hand and not even with 2 fingers. You can pick it up and you're good to go.
Yeah.
If you read the bag though, it does say non-structural use only. So you're not building the deck.
It does. No.
Yeah.
No, we built like a 3 to 4 foot fence. It was like nothing tall, nothing load bearing.
Putting posts in the ground, I get all day long.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I have a new safety thing I've been playing around with here in the shop, and it's right behind me. If you look over my head, see it right here?
Oh yeah, I see that.
That is something cool that's just out. Flame detect. Watch your ears here, guys. I have a lighter. I'm going to guard it. Watch this thing.
Oh,
I detect a
whoa. that thing was
quick.
Yeah, it was. Does it just detect immediate heat? How does that work?
So it does. It detects the flame in the entire room. So if you have a house, like if you're in a living room where you've got finished walls and stuff like that, normal ceiling, literally it could be playing with matches behind the couch, and it sees the infrared of the flame.
Oh my.
And then it sends you a push notification on your phone that it detected flame.
So how does that work?
Candle companies everywhere hate that.
Right.
Yeah. There's a new one coming out. They have a new model coming out that says if there's someone in the room, it will go for so long, like in a kitchen. If you had a gas stove, for instance, right? And you're cooking and if you're gone for 7 or 10 minutes or whatever it is, I haven't seen all the specs on it, but in 10 minutes, it's going to say flame detected in this room. Are you sure it's okay? And if you don't come back within so many, it'll give you a warning.
Now, hang on. I thought they outlawed gas stoves.
Come on. They just made, like, we're in Oregon here. They just made heroin illegal again a couple of weeks ago. So,
All right, we had enough.
that was a cool experiment that failed. So used to drive me crazy. I could literally walk down the street with a glass of wine in my hand and get cuffs on me. But if it was heroin or cocaine, they'd ask me how my day was going.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Can we have some?
Yes. Right. Yeah. No, seriously. You could do heroin on the front steps of City Hall and they'd say, "Good day, sir," as they walked in. But if I had a glass of wine, they'd go, "We have open container laws."
Oh my goodness.
Can't make it up.
I've actually seen some videos recently of Americans going over to Europe and like just how shocked they are of everyone just walking down the street with alcohol consuming.
Well, it's like Vegas. You can get away with that a lot. You can walk around.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the other thing that's crazy too with that is that they had those laws that were here and they've turned that around. But there is one thing that there is, if you live in a major city across the US and you have this homeless problem on your city streets, a group of people here figured out and forced the city to enforce it. You know what they did? They grabbed a dozen people that were disabled in that they were ADA. Maybe they were in walkers, maybe they were in wheelchairs. And they sued the city of Portland and said, "You are limiting our ADA access with allowing people to sleep on the sidewalks and street corners. So you are limiting our access and we're suing you for $1 billion or whatever it was."
So it's like class action suit.
Yeah. And they lost. And so now the city had to go back and actually do something about it because they were going to have to write out a massive check unless they resolved the issue. So the ADA laws actually took care of this here and got them working on the issue again where it was just being ignored. So got to give it to them for being
a bit. And we're going to say they outlawed cat and dog ownership.
That's only in Ohio. Sorry.
That's good.
I couldn't resist.
That's worth it.
Don't change that time. We'll be back with our friends from the Homeowners Show just after these important messages. Are you a small business owner? Has business slowed down? How is your website? Does it look like it's seen better days and those are behind it? It's time you fix it with SciPipe Designs. My friend Johnny that you've heard on this show each week, yeah, that's him playing in the background, is my go-to web designer that understands how to get your website and web traffic where it needs to be, and that's making you money. If you want personalized service at a much lower price than those big companies out there, check him out at sitehypedesigns.com. If you want a rockstar website to turn your business around, you gotta hire the rockstar. Just wait till you see my website coming soon. It's absolutely amazing. Contact Johnny at sitehypedesigns.com before it costs you even more money. Let's get that business turned around. Hey guys, it's Eric G, and I have a special offer for you. Do you want to get the podcast a couple days early? How about extended content that isn't in the typical podcast? Maybe you want to check out all the back episodes of the show. And I got a special deal for the first 10 days are free. I want to personally invite you to be an Around the House insider. For about $4 a month, you can get exclusive extended episodes, early access to the weekend show, and exclusive access to me, Eric G, for project questions or comments. Check on the link on your podcast player in the show notes or head to aroundthehouseonline.com and look for the join here button. Make sure and sign up today. As always, thanks for tuning in to Around the House. All right. Welcome back to the Around Around the House Show, the next generation of home improvement. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, if you want to get a hold of me here at the show, head over to aroundthehouseonline.com and make sure you're following us on social media and our new YouTube channel, where we'll see a lot of these things up on video in the future. Now let's get back to the Homeowners Show.
Got to give it to them for being a bit, and we're going to say they outlawed cat and dog ownership.
That's only in Ohio. Sorry.
That's good.
I couldn't resist.
That's worth it.
I couldn't resist. Guys, we're running out of time. We are well beyond what a normal radio show is, and we could do this all evening, but always fun hanging out with you guys.
You too, man.
Yeah, no, we had a blast. Thank you very much for having us on your show. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And where do people find you guys if they want to check out what you hoodlums are doing down there in Texas? How do they find you?
Yeah, you can find us pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're everywhere at the Homeowners Show. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube. We're putting stuff out all the time, reels and content all the time. The Homeowner Show. You can also email us at info@homeownershow.com and get a hold of either one of us, and we'd love to hear from you.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on today, man. This time went fast and always a good time. We will definitely do it again. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Always great hanging out with the Homeowner Show, Craig Williams and Kevin Hackett. Thanks again, gentlemen. Always a good time. We chat during the week all the time, and we've been talking about doing this forever. I've been on their show before, and it was nice to reciprocate and let them come on here on Around the House and show you guys just our conversations that we have. And I know this was an extra long one, but we hit so many subjects. I just didn't want to cut this one down and make it into the larger specials that we do that air like this as one of our premium ones. I just wanted to show everybody what we're doing out there. If you're a premium member, and this one here, it made it into both hours. That's a first for us here on Around the House Show. Now that we're done with that, I wanted to talk about another subject. And this is for all of you first-time home buyers out there. And I get it. It is tough. Housing is crazy expensive in most areas of the country. And it's hard to come up with that down payment, especially when things right now, probably not since the 1970s when I was a kid, have we seen prices go this quickly, this high. And I'm not talking about everything. I'm talking about everything from your Big Mac to the gasoline at the pumps, or even going out buying car with interest rates and everything else. It's crazy, and I get it. So I feel really bad for the people out there that say, hey, I'm tired of renting. I'm tired of doing this and that. I want to buy my first house. And maybe you've been renting for 20 years and you're a little bit older and you want to get your own house. I get it. Here are my rules if you really want to get into your own real estate portfolio of your first house. Here's how you do it. So the first thing is when you're out shopping for houses, first go talk to your favorite mortgage broker, bank, or whoever you want to work with and find out what you can afford and how much you need down. What's it going to take? And if you've got a banker, you've got a mortgage broker friend, find out, do your research. Understand what it's going to cost you to go in. And yes, it will always cost you more than what you're thinking it's going to. So have a little bit of play money off to the side to make sure that you can cover that stuff. Second of all, once you start looking, start thinking about the investment in itself. Because here's what can happen. And this is something that I want you to be careful with a trap. And I call a trap as something that you buy and it's hard to get your money back out of. Great example. Older mobile homes, like pre-2000s, mobile homes on a piece of property can be tough. Older mobile homes on a rented lot can be tougher. Now, there's exceptions to those because right now, if you're on a lot, like in the state of Oregon, they've got a $25,000 rebate that they can do to, if you're going to upgrade an older mobile home and you're going to put something back on it, that might be something because the new manufactured housing is different than the old ones. And those are just two different ball games. And you can make those so they're like a regular house and it will appraise and grow like a regular house. So that is something to be considered. Condos can be really hit and miss depending on where you're located. And condo prices can go all over the place. So it's high risk, medium reward. So think about this. If you find a waterfront or a view condo and you go, oh, I'm investing in this. I can't afford a house, but this condo is going to save me a little bit of money. And this is going to be great. I don't want to do lawn care. That's awesome. But all it takes is somebody to build another condo in front of it, block the view, or some old places around you get torn down and they put in new condos around there. And now you're in the air quotes old complex. So all of a sudden, you can go from the highest in the market to the lowest in the market. It might not be able to get all of that money back. And then the risk that you can run with townhouses and condos and things like that are the maintenance costs for the rest of the complex. And you see this a lot when you're out looking at townhomes or any of these kind of managed communities where you're taking care of the inside like a condominium, but the building ownership and the association is managing the exterior maintenance. So what can happen is you've got maybe a 5-year-old condo that you're buying, and then you start to do your due diligence on that project. And wow, there is lawsuits between the building owner community, I'll say / community, and the developer of the project who built it. And you can see that where there's a big litigation going on, which means you could have a very hard time either selling or buying in that situation. And then the other issue that you'll run into with those is that building costs could be huge. So if there's a bunch of rot on the outside of the building that wasn't maintained, or there are other major issues in that complex, you as a property owner within that condo complex have to pay for that in a lump sum. So it could be one of those things where all of a sudden you need to pay $20,000 to put a new roof on the building or things like that. So these are things that you really need to be careful with, because any home, there's still that maintenance that you're going to have to pay for. So yeah, that is that risk via reward. So be careful with the condos, new or old, and be careful with the older manufactured housing, though there's ways to get around that. But really what you want to look for when you're out shopping is find a neighborhood that you want to live in. And my recommendation for you, especially if you're a newer homeowner, this is your first time and you probably want to buy and sell, do some projects. So look for this. When you're looking for sale, don't buy the most expensive house in the neighborhood. Buy the cheapest one with the most land that you can get. So find something that is that unicorn, and they're out there. And that's what's cool about this, is that you can find those. So if you go great neighborhood, cheaper house, needs some work, when prices get back around and things continue to grow, now you've got something that is going to appreciate. So that is how so many people out there almost do their own house flips in a way that they can sit there, buy a house, live in it for 5 years, enjoy it, and then move to the next bigger house when they sell that one, take those profits and wrap it into the next one. Then you rehab that one, get it looking good, fix all the 70s, 80s, 90s junk that's in it, fix it up, sell it again, move to the next one. And that's how in the past people have been able to jump from a $300,000 house, which is almost a unicorn in many big cities, into a $1 million house in 15 years. By just doing that enough to follow the tax rules, do all the stuff that you do, wrap it around, make sure you do it. Not a professional house flipper, but something that you're living in. And every 5 years you're moving, and on average, and boom, boom, boom. So you buy it for 3, you sell it for 5, you buy it for 5, you turn around it for $750, buy it at $750, put a little money into it. Now it's at 9. You get the point. And that's where, if you look for the upside on those properties, you're going to be so much better off. And this is going to take a lot of sweat equity, because if you're out there paying for all this work to be done, it can be pretty hard. So it's going to be much better for you to sit there, take the time and really work on your DIY skills. That's going to put more money in your pocket, because you'll be able to add that money quickly to this project. So take your time, find a good financial agent to work with you on this. Come up with a plan, and don't pay too much for the properties. Don't get yourself in a bidding war, because if you pay too much, you're taking that money out of your pocket later, and it's harder to flip it later once you've done a quality remodel job like you're going to want to live. Make sure you pull the permits as needed. Make sure you got your documentation. Make sure that you have done things that are smart, and you've done things that will pay you back in the long run. If the kitchen is great and you're going to live in this thing for 5 years and it just needs some updates, do some updates. Maybe not do that kitchen remodel unless you need it. And when in doubt, take a look at the cost versus value report. Find it online. We talk about it every year when it gets published. And this is where you can find out where the money is. Sometimes a kitchen remodel will only give you 50% back. So you better do it on a budget. I'm Eric G. Thanks for tuning in today. This kind of experiment today with our friends over at the Homeowner Show, where we just had a great chat about everything going on in homeowners' lives. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to Around the House. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Somewhere unseen and undiscovered, anywhere beyond the mean. Life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G. with Around the House. Are you looking to grow your business? Need a spokesperson for your company? Maybe an MC for an upcoming trade show? Or maybe you want to up your game and shoot some promotional videos? My team of experts would love to chat with you. Head to aroundthehouseonline.com and fill out the Contact Us form, and we'll set something up. Thanks for listening to Around the House.